thank you most sincerely for finding time to join us on today's episode of Tax Matters. My name is Olumuyiwa Matuluko, and with me on the episode is Radiant Chiamaka.
Hello, viewers.
We wish our Christian compatriots all over the world happy Lenten season, and we pray that God Almighty will repay us all handsomely for the sacrifices we made at this period. A few episodes ago on Tax Matters, we shared with you the story of the Tax Week organized by the Lagos District Society of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, CITN. Two major activities of the Tax Week included a symposium on the Voluntary Access and Income Declaration Scheme, VATS, as well as a night with entertainers tagged Entertainment and Tax, Bridging the Gap. As that night of glitz and glamour was essentially put together to bridge the information gap, we feel obliged to share with you more of the exchanges that took place between the entertainers on one hand and the resource persons as well as the tax administrators on the other hand, in the hope that what we are about to share with you will answer some of the nagging questions tugging at your hearts.
I think governments need to know now that 99.9% of artists in Nigeria, I will talk as a filmmaker, we still live on handouts. People buy car, dash me. I love that film. Not because the film has been able to buy me a car. Okay, you take a film to the cinema. They collect all the deductible taxes from it. When Iroko buys, when you're paying you, they tell you that they've deducted taxes from it. When African Magic equally buys your content, they tell you so and so percentage of the stuff has been taken off. And Lagos State government tax officers, they are watching my last red carpet posing. Then they invite me, Lancelot, where is the money? I told them the last time I was interrogated, I actually went to the office and I told them, you guys don't understand what is going on. Benin people, big men in Benin, they've decided that this boy that has done well for the tribe where I come from, make hunger not kill him, Oba Atokbe. They dash me brand new cars. I say, are you government supposed to come and take tax from the car where they dash me? I think we really need to understand that when you beget a child, you invest in training the child. Government of Nigeria, Oga Fowler, welcome, sir. Tell government of Nigeria to invest. Then you will not be doing seminar to make us come and pay tax. There is even no tax to pay. You can't give what you don't have. They will deduct many things. VAT, all of that. Which other tax am I supposed to pay? They said collect tax from a graduate is working for me that I'm going to manage to pay 30,000 naira in a month. I will still have the mind to say I want to take some percentage to give government. These are the reality we really need to look at. Of course, we want to appear as responsible citizens. When you see us take picture for first class, now lie, nobody will buy the ticket. Nobody will buy the ticket. It's the red carpet and Instagram and Snapchat that is causing all this problem. Because when Facebook was not there, nobody will come and chase me.
Entertainers are usually public figures. I'm sure we all know them. And therefore, you must be ready for recognition, both in payment of your tax and, of course, other things that come with it. When you ride a Bentley, whether you borrow it or you borrow money to buy it, or it was contribution by the Benin Empire for you to enjoy, you will be seen as a person that is of high value within the society, and so much tax will be expected of you. What is acceptable tax behavior? There must be honesty in disclosure. We must also know that tax avoidance is legal. Whatever way you can arrange your affairs to avoid as much tax as possible, it is legal. You must find a way to identify those areas that you can arrange your affairs. But of course, we must also know that tax evasion is criminal, where you attempt or deliberately reduce your income or failure to disclose your income. Okay, you have a house somewhere in Banana Island. Even if you borrow money, you will pay back with income. So you must be able to explain how you made money to pay back those loans. And those monies, have they been subjected to tax? Those are areas that government will be looking at you from, and you must be ready to answer those questions. Again, why do we have tax compliance problem in Nigeria? I will mention quickly, lack of structured business. A lot of us are not even supposed to be paying taxes. I was in the client's place and I told them that, see, you don't even need to start thinking about paying tax because already you have overpaid because there is no invoice that you issue that withholding tax is not deducted. But if you don't have that understanding, you will think you are still owing tax. So you must put your business together in a structured manner. Do you want to run your business in your personal name or in an enterprise name or in a limited liability company? You must be able to understand all of those dynamics. The next thing is that poor record keeping is one of the things that is making people think that they are actually liable to tax that is not due. You must find a way to put your record together and ensure that when the tax people call on you, you have those records and you present it to them. And then if you don't have record, that is when you give them the opportunity of raising what? Best of judgment assessment. Therefore, put your records together and then you'll be able to pay the appropriate tax or even claim refund. And finally, we must understand that this period is the vase period, which means there is an amnesty. And what do we mean by that? Government already have detailed information about all taxpayers. They know those who have properties in Dubai, those who have so much in their bank account, and they have said that, see, we are giving you 9 months to redress and, rearrange your tax affairs. That after the 9 months, we begin to write letters. A lot of persons now are receiving letters from overseas banks saying that you must come and give us evidence that you have paid tax, otherwise your account will be closed. So we must take that opportunity now, declare our taxes, and of course, so how do you ensure that there is an efficient compliance? One is that you must have the intention to comply. If you don't have the intention to comply, there is no way you will find yourself complying, and you definitely continuously be on the wrong side of the law. You must be able to track your transactions. Government is tracking your transactions. Therefore, you must also track. They are checking the land registry. They are checking the motor vehicle license authority. They are checking those who have special plate number. A lot of us have special plate number here. It is money, and whatever money you are spending, it is assumed that you must have paid tax on them. And then we must be interested in our tax affairs. It's no longer a time where you just ignore tax. No, don't worry, they won't come, they won't see me. Now, government is seeing everyone. You must have interest in your tax affair. And of course, if you have problem, you also have right to seek advice.
What do you make of all that?
Record keeping is key. And seek professional help. Do not do it yourself.
What I would like to say here is that, first and foremost, we need to educate ourselves on taxation. It's very key for this industry so that you understand the issues. And taxation really is based on earnings. It's not based on sentiment. It's not based on, I'm sending money to my mother in the village. No. If you earn 10,000 naira, then that's going to be the basis.
Should you deduct tax from people earning 30,000? Yes. There's what you call minimum tax, which is just 1% of the payment. If you don't do it, you are going to do it sometimes with interest and penalty. Because those who earn wages, even the NYSC are paying taxes. Casual workers are paying. And this should be one of the takeaways. And I'm pleading with you, get someone who will help you put your tax position in order.
We need to engage more. The Association of Cinema Owners in Nigeria are actually looking to come to you to engage so that we can also educate you on how our business works. We get multiple taxation, and I give an example. Because I sit on all the value chains of film production in the film industry. So I sit at production, I see that exhibition, distribution, then exhibition. And exhibition is where the customer engages. That's where they pay money. So if I'm a producer, and I speak for producers here, if I'm a producer and I have a film product, that film product earns money when a customer pays 1,000 naira, whatever it is, yeah, and I pay 5% VAT. Let me just focus on VAT, for instance. But the way our industry works is that, because if you're the customer, and if I give you this product, film, you watch the film, and pay me 1,000 naira, I need to remit 5% VAT. It's automatic, it's no debate. But the way the industry works is such that this product goes through an agency to come to you and collect back. Now what happens is at cinema level, the cinemas deduct the 5% from the 1,000. Also deducts entertainment tax. That's a complete different conversation. So out of that 1,000, 10% is gone. And then the distributor now collects what is left there and then remits back to the producer. But what tends to happen is that distributors charge another 5% on the rest of that 1,000. Then when it now comes back to the producer, what's left after the cinema takes their share? What's left to the producer is maybe 450 or 405 naira. They are charged 5% again when they make all their deals. So for that 1,000 naira, 3 sets of 5% are paid. That's multiple taxation.
Okay, it's just a quick fix solution that I'm trying to tell a film house for free. The first thing is to keep proper records. When you keep proper records, then you can prove your case. There's what you call input VAT, and there's what you call output VAT. So it is not expected that you pay VAT so many times over the value chain. As it is moving, one person is paying the output VAT, while another person can claim input VAT. So it's a matter of documentation. If you have your documents, you can prove it. Keep proper records, and you're in safe hands.
The LRS chairman has handled it also eloquently. Value-added tax in Nigeria is a multi-state tax by which value-added tax is paid at every stage of the value chain. But at the end of the road, at the end of the chain, it is the final consumer that bears the full weight of 5%. What providers of goods and services must learn to do is to net off, by which we mean whatever VAT that they have paid in acquiring the components of what they are now passing on or selling to another consumer, they must deduct the VAT that they have paid from what the buyer has paid to them before they remit the balance to the FIRS. It is called input and output VAT. At the end of it all, Tax Matters spoke to the executive chairman of the FIRS. We wonder why you consider the entertainment industry so crucial to your efforts, our collective effort towards driving compliance.
Well, for two reasons. Number one, the fastest growing sector within the economy. Number two, the message they send out. When people come to relax, to be entertained, they also spread across different sectors of society. The old, the young, even the retired come out and they hear a word of tax anytime they're enjoying themselves being entertained. So apart from them also contributing their own taxes, they also send that word to the society.
And from the chief hostess, what is the idea behind the tax week?
Well, the tax week actually started, it was an initiative which I, came up with about 2 years ago when my administration started. And basically, it's just to create awareness and enlightenment of the taxpayers and of the populace. You understand? A lot of people do not know how their taxes should be paid, what should be paid. So we have actually identified the group of people, who we feel needs to be enlightened. So what we do is we set out that particular week to do a lot of awareness. We have a tax walk where we go on the streets giving flyers that contain informations on how you can pay your tax, what kind of taxes to be paid, the nearest tax station to you where you can go to whenever you have an issue. And then in addition to that, we also set it aside even to enhance our professionalism as tax professionals. We hold seminars, we hold trainings during the week, just to enlighten our members. So it's a two-way thing. We try to cut across all stakeholders during the tax week.
What is the central theme of this year's tax week?
Well, the central theme of this year's tax is actually VADES. VADES as a source of revenue for government, the pros and the cons. Because we know that VADES has just recently been launched by the federal government, and it's a much talked about topic right now in the taxation industry. So we decided, to bring it out, you understand. For those who don't really know what VADES stands for what VADES is, how they can benefit from VADES, we know there's a window, before the 31st of March 2018 that one can actually benefit from non-payment of interest and penalties. So that is what we are, trying to get people to get themselves involved and register before the close of this window.
What else do you have in your arsenal, in the offing? What else are you planning to do?
Well, unfortunately, I just have a few months to the end of my tenure. Yes, and right now, I'm trying to concentrate more on enhancing the professionalism of my members. So before the end of my tenure, I want to engage in having more seminars, more trainings, and, having them come in and get more informed.
Do you provide goods and services? Then you must answer these important questions. Are you registered for VAT? Do you charge VAT on the goods and services you provide? Do you keep records of all your transactions? Do you file VAT returns? Do you remit VAT collected to government coffers? If your answer to any of these questions is no, then you are breaking the law. The law demands total compliance. Therefore, you must register for VAT. You must charge VAT on goods and services. You must file VAT returns. And you must remit all VAT collected on behalf of government within 21 days to the bank nearest to you. To do otherwise is a crime punishable everywhere in the world. VAT is prescribed by the law. Do the right thing. Collect and pay VAT. This message is from the FIRS. It pays to pay your tax.
Welcome back. Let us rewind a little and go back to the symposium that was held earlier on the same day on the Voluntary Assets and Income Declaration Scheme. Again, courtesy of the Lagos District Society of the CITN as part of his tax week. A paper titled VATES, Tool for Enhanced Revenue Generation, Pros and Cons, was delivered by Mr. Folajimi Akinla, lawyer, tax consultant, and a member of the Presidential Implementation Committee on VATES.
President CITN was represented at the occasion by the past president, Mr. Mark Dike. The occasion was also graced by the presence of the immediate past president, Professor Mrs. Teji Shomore, and council members of the institute.
Nigeria is a monoproduct economy. What do? Our main product is to export crude, right? So our major source of revenue is crude. And it goes to show that if the price falls, then we earn less. At times as well, Nigeria cannot produce enough crude because of activities in certain parts of the country where production is reduced. And of course, there's a problem of mismanagement and corruption. So when you look at all these factors together, it tells you that there isn't that much money to spend if your main inflow of funds is reducing, and of course, population is increasing. So it tells us that government actually needs more money to spend. So government has woken up and say, this crude oil, we don't have control over the pricing. We cannot just rely on crude 24/7. We have to look at alternative ways to get money. And of course, guess what comes up next? Tax. This is sort of the background that resulted in VADs. The scheme expires on March 31st, 2018. It covers all types of taxes, whether it's companies income tax, personal income tax, petroleum taxes, stamp duties, VAT, all taxes are covered.
There was a robust question and answer session. The occasion was also used for the unveiling and launching of the 2018 Lagos Tax Journal. The honor of unveiling the journal fell on the shoulders of Prince Kunle Quadri, the very first chairman of the Lagos District Society, who later became the 9th president of the CITN.
You've had it all. Time is ticking. The VAD's amnesty window and door closed on March 31, 2018. And so you will do well to file now. Before we go, this short but very brilliant clip on the same topic.
It covers all taxes for 6 years, whether federal, whether state. And the benefit for me, I think it's huge, especially if you look at it from the impact. Potentially about 30%, which represent addition of interest and penalty. It's what the government is saying we will waive, all right, for you. Plus the possibility of having an instrumental arrangement that may drag up to 3 years to be able to settle the amount of liability. So the liability itself had been agreed, but you don't just have the cash flow to be able to cough it all out all at once. So you could actually negotiate and have it spread for close to 36 months. You know, I think that's huge. But more importantly is the fact that the scheme guarantees immunity from audit, from investigation, and from prosecution. If you have ever gone through tax audit, be it at the federal and the state level, if somebody comes to you to say, look, part of the benefit for doing this is that that period is closed for audit. If there's nothing else, I think it is massive. Beyond the professional fee that you will pay, there's just so much of effort and time that goes into tax dispute resolution, from the field work to the reconciliation to all of the back and forth. Just one step of making sure that from 2017 you're sure the past is forgiven and the past is forgotten, plus a guarantee of confidentiality. It can't be any better than that, right? So it's an opportunity to bring your tax status to full compliance with all of the benefits. And for those who have financial assets as well, I think it's also an opportunity to be able to limit the pressure and some of the challenges you may have in the future in the event of disposal of chargeable assets, because you will have been able to have that asset, fed into the system. So when there's a disposal, there's already a record of it. I've seen several instances where, even though capital gains tax in Nigeria, which is only essentially usually on property because we don't have on shares and all of that, when you have disposal, trying to justify and document the historical cost of assets and all of the improvement that has happened over the years can be very Herculean, right? So if you use this opportunity, we think there's also some bit of benefit and mileage that you could get from that. And for the PLCs, SEC also came up with a publication in support of it to say by 31st of March, we will expect all listed companies to actually provide some bit of clearance certificates showing that they've done the right thing. All right, so it's an opportunity that we think comes with a whole lot. For some VIP individual that have many asset managers and investment advisors around the world, they are also sending out KYCs to all the guys whose investment they are managing to say, look, you need to give us a declaration that you have declared your taxes and your income. The reason is because, and as you see in the subsequent slide, automatic exchange of information had kicked in Nigeria. Nigeria is already a signatory to the automatic exchange of information, which, in addition to the locally available data, just makes so much available at the fingertips of the tax authority. So if your information is going to be in the papers and everywhere, and these advisors are afraid that, if your name is mentioned with you and all of that, so they want everybody to be able to come clean. I just think that the reality of the amount of information that government now have available to itself, it's enough signal for individuals and businesses to understand that the time appear up. for non-disclosure and falsifying information and all of that. So from your BVN to your TIN to your CAC record to foreign exchange information, to whatever it is. There's a project going on, Project Lighthouse, where data is being mined now, and that informed the letter that was sent out late last year, I think November, December, to about 1,000 people, saying, we've looked at your record. It looks like this is where you are when we look at your BVN and your foreign exchange transaction, but we can barely find your name on the list of taxpayer. Can you please come around and reconcile? So that's how the letter is flowing this way. From 1st of April, it may be picking up a different kind of tone.
There you are. A word they say is enough for the wise. We thank you for spending time with us on today's episode of Tax Matters. From Chiamaka,
Thank you for watching.
have a blessed week ahead.